All right, here we go. Trade recap for today. So, my pre-market deal, I was looking at, um, let's see. So there was two stocks that was really popping that had a good little buzz pre-market. One was TTNP, and then the other was DARE, D-A-R-E. Okay, so TTNP. Here's the daily. Does not look the best. What we can see over here that it's trying to really break out of these lows. And kind of make a move. So it had a low volume, and here's the 15. This is what's more important. I saw two areas that I like, and I think I got enamored with this one more than I should have. I was enamored with the 29 area because I thought it was a pretty good pivot. Okay, you can see the support comes up here, boom, turns back around, and it moves from there. But what the area that I really should have fixated on is the more recent right here in this 27 area, because it also launched from here. It kind of made a small run and it gapped down. The stock is actually, look at this. It runs gaps, runs gaps, runs gaps, gap. Probably even really looking back, not quite sure why I would even traded this because it almost looks ADR-ish. It just can't hold anything. But this was the one that I traded. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Here was my game plan on TTNP. Says stock is gapping up from 27 to 32. Stock is very choppy from that range, but has a very clean pivot at 29, which is the area that I would like to buy. Okay, so I knew I wanted to buy in that area, but a better evaluation would have told me to look at 27. Okay, DARE game plan. Stock is gapping up at double the price. Okay, and daily shows a lot of upper wick and red days when it gaps up. So there's a support at $1 range. We'll play this one. We'll play this one as a wait and see. So I was just like, I'm gonna just wait this one out because I wasn't feeling it. It was gapping too high, and those scare me. So let's go ahead and look at pre-market, since I forgot to snap up the pre-market. I did snap them, but I forgot to add them to the chart. In fact, it doesn't take nothing but a second to do that. So let me do here. I'll go look at TTNP pre-market, and okay, oops, market. Yep. All right, and let me go. What am I looking for? Picture, background, choose image. Apologize, y'all. Should have had this already, but I forgot. I just restarted my computer because it was acting up. So I had to restart. Let's go to pictures, screenshots. There we go. And that should get me down here. All right. I took three. I took CPA. I think this is TTNP. I think that's the other one. Oh, it's DARE. Choose image. Should be this one. All right, done. That's it. Okay, so here's pre-market. We can see that it has some support in present. We can see that it had some support in this area here, 27, which is really showed me on a 15-minute chart. And then this was the pivot area at 29. So, right here it looked like it could make a move. This is all pre-market. So that's what that one looked like, okay? Let me now add DARE to the chart. What is this? 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2. Okay, this would be DARE right here. Add this. Just gonna go straight to it. Okay, right here. All right, sorry about this, y'all. Again, I should have been a little more prepared. And then DARE. Okay, so this is why I was nervous with this one. It had this big candle way down here at 1. I just kind of didn't know. You see I had a support line drawn right here at the 150 area, which actually would have been a good area to play this one. Um, I just I didn't know. Plus, it was pulling away from VWAP. So normally when I see stuff like that, I just kind of wait for the next pivot area, which actually the next pivot area was close. It was right here. I probably would have liked to see a bigger crack to 1, but I didn't know. I just was on a wait and see because usually when they gap up real big, you just kind of don't know what it's gonna do. It's very it could just be it's real volatile, in my opinion. So anyhow, that was my thought process. Let's go ahead and go to the chart and see what happens. So I'll show you what I did with TTNP first. Let's go to stocks to trade. All right, TTNP. So we saw the pre-market. We see that it was already running away. I got it here. Okay, I have made a mistake. I really should have got it in 27. I needed to let it pull far enough away from VWAP to be worth it for 1. I just didn't. So I got filled at like 28.5, which is still a good price, and it actually panned out. I cut it early because it was just I cut it around right here, right after it exploded up, and so I just cut it. It was a $40 loss. Which I was 100% okay with. If I would have waited a little bit, I would have probably got about a 7 to 8% win. Would have been nice, but it didn't happen. And so you just move on with life. You know, that was what happened. That was how I traded it. And really, it was a poor decision anyway. I should have had my attention on CPOP, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now let me go to Dare, which Dare I said I wanted to wait till 1. It did have a pivot at 150-ish. You'll see I'll have a support line drawn through here. And it worked. I just didn't. I had already got filled with TTNP. So see how it was already pulling back from VWAP, and then it came here and it put in this nice spike candle here, this hammer candle at a low of 150. Oh, right here, this candle at a low of 150, and then proceeded to go, and it went as high as 220. So this was one that definitely gave multiple opportunities to play it. It pulled up here, and then it came into this long support, and it boom, it ran from the 80 late, let's say low 90s back up to 220. So it gave a couple opportunities. Probably would have been better to play this one, truth be told, but I didn't. And so that's just life. You move on. What I should have played and what I played last week is this one. This is it's 2 stocks that I should have been just focused on. CPA, because it was of course getting ready to break out again. So let's go here. I have this one drawn up in my former runners. So I got 2. I have my pre-market volume list, and then I have my former runners. My former runners are just stocks that have spiked big in the last couple days or weeks that, with the right amount of volume and momentum, can really make something happen. Okay. So let's let this pull up. My attention should have been here. That was my bad. My attention should have been on this or Trill. Either one of those that had all those run from last week. That's where the game was. But it's all good. Life goes on. Let it pull up. So what I do with former runners is I look at those the night before, and I just kind of say, if this thing, I'm looking to dip by those unless it's in the breakout range. So this is the hourly of Gene. I just said if it pulls the 310 today, I'd be willing to buy. And why 310? You see this launch area here. So I'm looking for some crack and some panic. Come down here, bounce. That's what I'm looking for when I'm talking about a dip buy. Although you look at this, if it right amount of volume, it can still crack and break out. Not crack when we say break out. And run through the 5s. Okay. CPA daily. Look at this huge candle from last Friday. Okay, that is huge. It went from 142 to basically 450. Okay, so the breakout area is pretty much 450, which is interesting because it's a half number. Remember, I told you those whole and half numbers. Okay, CPA on the 15-minute. This is all prior to earlier today. Okay, so I'm looking. I'm like, okay, so it's got some consolidation from here to this range, to the $3 range. So what did I say? I said CPA is a breakout beyond 440. Probably should have just stuck to that, right? Stock red big on Friday. Want to see either continuation with a breakout, or if it cracks, the first dip buy area is between 332 and 304. So I'm looking at all this consolidation. This is like 315-ish, I would imagine. I probably would have put an order in for like 310. hoping that it cracked. But let's go look at what it did. It did not crack. It broke out, right? And this is why sometimes it's nice to wait and let things happen, especially when you know there's a former runner on deck. Okay. All right. So there it is. CPAW's already pulled up. All right. So look, it came in here, opened up at basically this $4 range, and Pume ran to 560-ish. Okay. Then it pulled back. Where's a good dip buy? What did we say the breakout was? 450. Pulled back a little deeper than we wanted, but this line is at the 450 line. Pume, $6. Okay. So it gave us that opportunity a couple of times. Even pulled back here one more time and gave us a run to just about the 5, which would have been a 10% run. So, you know, this is what I should have been focused on because it already had momentum. It went big on Friday. People love that. Okay. And it had a lot of energy that I could have capitalized on with a breakout at, you know, I told myself whenever there's a breakout, there I'm lurking, you know, that's something that I want to look at. The other one that I should have been looking at, because this is what I traded last week, was Trill, which also was on the run. So let me go ahead and give you the daily so you can see that it had been running a little bit as of late and with the right amount of volume. See, so look at this. It ran, boom, pulled back, boom, ran. And this candle here, the big red candle, this was last Friday. Okay, so it's still volatile and choppy. So I would do this. I would look at this on the 15, and I'm looking just for a good pivot area. Okay, so this is the 10th. Here's Friday. Oh yeah, I wrote my dip buy area at 2. See, for me, you wanted to dip by this at, if it cracked down to 2, oh, that would have been a great little, it's still to this point. When it cracks down, if it just drops down and it hits 2, that's a great buy area. Okay, so what did it do this morning? It came down to as low as 240. There you go, that half number area, and then it went from basically 250, ran to 332. That's a hell of a run, considering that you only need 25 cents for a 10% win. So at 250, if it ran all the way to 332, basically that was a 30% run that you could have capitalized on had your mind, you know, and eyes been on it. So I am a little disappointed. Not, I'm a little disappointed just because I really should have had my eyes on these two. These CPA and Trill should have been all I was looking at, considering that CPA was a breakout with all kind of momentum from a huge Friday candle, and you know people are going to want to continue. That Trill is extended, it's overextended at this point, and we're starting to see some correction. I would love to see this thing crack within the next couple of days down to 2. I'll be a buyer right here, actually right off of this MA, as low as 189ish, 190, you know, in that range. That's the ticket for this one next couple of days. So I'll be watching that. So these are what I call dip buys. These are stocks that have, or former runners, stocks that have run who spike big, you know, went on multiple day runs, and now they're pulling back, and you can just take advantage of the price action, man. That's what it's all about. Okay. All right, so that's what happened today. I am done with the recap. I'm going to go ahead and allow this film to render. Just wanted to, you know, keep my content going and stay honest and stay true with what I'm doing, man. I like to be 100% transparent. I ain't got nothing to hide. Just a guy who loves doing what I do, and I'm having a good time. You know, just continuing my career as a trader. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this one up, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Got a recap for you tomorrow.